What up, what up? It is the morning after with Nic and Big J. Welcome to the 10th day of June it's July 2025. It's a Thursday. My name is Nic. There's Big J right over there. I was stuck in like a weird time warp there for a second.
Do the time warp.
But I'm back, and it feels good.
Great.
Although traveling back to June for just a matter of seconds, it did make me nostalgic for last month.
Oh, yeah? What was nostalgic about it?
I don't know. It just June or July
Cool
felt
weather?
so far away, and it
Not
felt
triple
like
digits?
Yeah. I didn't have to worry about my my barbecue once again blowing over in my backyard from the wind yesterday. I might have to tie that thing down.
We're becoming experts at batten down the hatches, man. I mean, we got this inflatable pool, that the kids bought for the dogs to play in, right?
Yeah.
So
I tried to take flight. Whee!
No, well, I was like, it was empty. Because here's the thing, it's just become a big mess because it's got water in it, and one half of our yard is dirt.
Oh,
so the
it's just
dogs
gross.
jump up in there. The first 15 minutes of that thing was great and glorious in the hot weather. And so we were like, well, we should fill it up because we drained it so that it won't blow away. And then for whatever reason, it wouldn't stay full. So we had to deflate the thing. But doing that in the middle of when it's wind is blowing and making sure everything's tied down.
You mentioned dirt in your backyard. I have an idea. There's this thing called turf that maybe you might want to think about putting down in your backyard.
Great idea.
That would prevent any kind of dirt from kicking up. And then you could put the actual... Did you ever get any answers yesterday, by the way, about the...
No way on the text line,
okay.
But I had a friend, our friend Kevin, text me and it was like, hey, I got a neighbor who does this and it doesn't smell great.
Okay.
So the draining of the swamps, it doesn't work right. And I'm like, well, maybe he's got an old system. I don't know.
I have a neighbor that does this, and it doesn't smell great. I believe that. I believe that. Listen, if you are dogless, I believe that's probably, like you're in your 60s or something, you don't have a dog at your home, I feel like that's probably a smart purchase for somebody who doesn't want to enjoy doing yard work or getting out there. But I think if you have animals, two of them specifically running around, peeing and pooping all the time, it makes it a tough... I mean, you're probably going to have to hose that thing down all the time.
And now they don't even go in the grass anymore.
Where do they go? In the dirt?
Yeah. On a big old turd. Like on the walkway. I'm like, what's going on, guys?
You got to get those dogs in check, Big J.
Not mine.
Still, they live in your abode. It's your backyard, pal. We got ourselves a pretty big Thursday show planned for you. First and foremost, Big J has a nerd alert ready to go for you to keep you in the know in the world of technology and gaming. We also have an opportunity for you to go to Social Distortion next Saturday at the Rev Center. That show's rescheduled for back in June, where I was. And, of course, we also have an opportunity for you to get some free flying pie coming your way. Summer of Fun week number 4 in full effect. Trying to give away a trip to Portugal, a first keyword of your day coming your way a little bit after 9 o'clock. And we have some music. Nirvana is going to kick things off this morning here on the Morning After with Nic and Big J on the X Rocks.
In search of news. Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nic and Big J.
The important stuff is brought to you by Team Mazda. Getting financed at Team Mazda even easier now thanks to GoTeamCredit.com. Everybody gets pre-approved. No effect on your credit whatsoever, so check it out. Log on to GoTeamCredit.com right now and see what you're pre-qualified for. Next thing you know, you're zooming away in a brand new or brand new used car. It's new to you anyway, and you're living the high life, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Team Mazda. Big J, some changes to Boise State's university's recognized esports program. You're familiar with the concept, right?
Yeah, of course, man.
They are going to have a new home within the university's athletic department, Big J. Now, it's not going to still become an official Division I sport. They're just transitioning it departmentally inside the school. Now, the question may be, Big J, where has it sat up until this point? And the answer is the College of Innovation Design. It was officially a kind of like offshoot of that particular part of the university. Now it's part of the athletic department, so they'll oversee, and the marketing and all that kind of stuff will be done through that department instead of the College of Innovation and Design. The esports team will continue to operate from their 7,000 square foot arena that's located on Capitol Boulevard in downtown Boise. Maybe you've seen that.
It's beautiful.
The Broncos team has established themselves as a straight-up powerhouse in collegiate esports since the program's inception. The team has captured 13 Mountain West championships, 6 national titles, since 2018, making them one of the most successful collegiate esports programs in the country. And so why not honk that horn in your athletic department, right?
Yeah.
When you have something that dominant, you should probably take credit for it. Boise State among the first universities to embrace competitive gaming at the collegiate level, helping to pioneer the growing esports movement around campuses nationwide, and have beat some of the biggest colleges in the United States of America, just from a pure population standpoint. They've knocked off Penn State's and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So they've got a pretty good legacy going on there, and now it'll be under the athletic department over there at Boise State. Although nothing changes kind of internally, it's nice to know that they're changing things around a little bit. Big J, a huge salary does not necessarily lead you to an automatic berth in the All-Star game. If I had to ask you who baseball's highest paid player was, do you think you'd be able to tell me?
No, not at all.
You have a guess?
No.
Not even a guess, huh?
Yeah, all right, Clayton Kershaw. There you go.
No, he's
all right, I made a guess.
An old guy. Juan Soto of the Mets didn't get voted in by fans or his fellow players.
What a loser.
Out of the top 10 salaries in the game, only 3 players will be in Atlanta on July 15th. The Phillies' Zach Wheeler, Aaron Judge of the Yankees, and Jacob deGrom, the Texas Rangers reliever. Younger, cheaper players dominate the rosters. 21 of them are 26 or younger. And so it doesn't pay to throw a bunch of money, at least from the All-Star game perspective, to throw a bunch of money at people. It's not paying off in terms of at least performance or the desire that people want to see them on the field. Now, famously, the Major League Baseball starters aren't always the best players in their position, but usually the best players end up getting voted in by the players as reserves, and then everybody gets to play in the All-Star game. It's one of the dumbest things about it. And so you actually get somebody in there if they're having a good season. That just lets you know that Juan Soto is disappointing. But listen, he's not the only one. There's 7 other guys in the top 10 that aren't making the All-Star game either. So it's not anything new, but it certainly is probably not a great return on your investment, I would think. Big J, Mattel has unveiled a Barbie with type 1 diabetes and a glucose monitor as well as an insulin pump. Big J, do you feel seen as someone with diabetes?
Well, it's different diabetes, but...
But it's nice to have representation no matter what, right?
Sure. I would say type 1 diabetes is a lifelong disease that you're often born with. So
that's right.
A little different than type 2.
No, but still. I mean, it's not like they're making a type 2 diabetes Barbie. That's never going to happen. You know that as well as I do.
Well, generally young children don't have type 2 diabetes.
No.
They have type 1. So
but mommy does.
This makes sense, especially for the younger kids.
The company has a partnership with Breakthrough TD1 to ensure the authentic representation of the autoimmune disease that captures the community. The glucose monitor will be attached to Barbie's arm, and it'll have some heart-shaped pink tape to it. It links to a phone displaying the glucose tracking app and an insulin pump that clicks to her waist. Barbie has a blue polka dot purse and some snacks, because, of course, Big J, you need that to monitor your insulin.
Yeah.
And also wears a matching blue polka dot outfit as a nod to diabetes awareness. Mattel executives said that reflecting medical conditions is something that they like to do, and they want to make sure that more kids see themselves in the stories that they imagine. So this is good things for representations for kids that are dealing with some things that certainly aren't their fault, and it's nice to see that being represented in Barbie form. Agree or disagree?
That's what Barbie's for.
Barbie can be anything.
Yeah.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. It is the X-Rocks. Offspring gotta get away here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. It is officially summer, Big J. I don't think I have to tell you that. But they sat down and talked to about 20,000 Americans, and they wanted to find out what the quintessential summer experience feels like to them. So I ask you the same question, Big J. What do you associate with summer? And we'll see if you have anything in common with the average American.
Sunburns.
That is not... Well, okay. I guess maybe some of them is tangentially related to one of them, but having a sunburn did not actually make the... These are more positive things, I would say. More
barbecues.
Number 1, grilling scents and spending time with a barbecue. Number 2...
Water sports.
Yes. Yeah. Good job.
And 3, seeking air conditioning.
God, you're close.
Really?
Just relaxation. Number 3. And I would say air conditioning would qualify as that as well. 80% of Americans agreed that having some sort of cooking outside is something that you need to do during the summer. With activities like hosting a backyard pool or a cookout or even grilling out for your family, these are things that people look forward to in the summertime. Believe it or not, Big J, the younger that you get in this study, the more enthusiasm you have for cooking out and enjoying it. So you would think it's like, dad wants to lead the way, but no, the young kids enjoy those particular things, I guess, more than any other type of age group. The survey was done for a bunch of different companies, most of which is including Tyson Foods, footed a lot of it, so surprise, surprise, barbecuing is near the top of the list, but I don't think that's a surprise no matter who was doing this. Basically, maybe the shocking thing is if people were to name their favorite season, summer came in third, believe it or not. 36% of Americans say that summer is their favorite season. It lost out to fall and spring as well. Maybe the heat and too much sun, perhaps?
Yeah. I'm a weirdo. I like the transition into seasons more than the seasons themselves.
What do you mean?
Because you get a little bit of both, you know?
Oh, you like it when it's like not super hot, maybe going into fall?
Yeah.
The tail end of summer into fall?
Yes. And then vice versa, like coming out of winter, going into spring. Love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite time.
It gives you a hope. It's like a rejuvenation, something to look forward to, right?
God, don't we need that?
Many respondents plan to grill meals a couple of times a week during the summer, focusing on hamburgers and hot dogs. That was the number one thing that was put into what you want to grill out. But about 53% of us say that our favorite thing about cooking out is letting somebody else do the cooking. So there's that as well.
Yeah.
Not everybody enjoys the work that goes into it, and not everybody has that talent. I'll be honest. I'm not like, I have everything that I need, but I'm still not like super keen on like barbecuing chicken. I love the taste, but I don't have enough confidence into when I know it's done, and I don't want to get myself sick.
I think it's just because you haven't dived into the.
That's exactly it.
To why and how to do it properly, because once you do and learn something, you're very good at it.
I believe. Well, so yeah, but you're right. I haven't done it, but also like I enjoy other things more than I enjoy barbecue chicken, and so I also will point to that. It's like, why would I cook barbecue chicken when I love broth so much and it takes like 10 minutes to do? That's always my defense for that.
Went over to my sister's. They're in Scotland right now with the family, and they're on a 3-week journey. And before they left, they invited us over for a little barbecue action. And my brother-in-law, he didn't know he was making chicken. It was one of those miscommunications. And boy, it was not great. It was so dry and just overcooked.
Right, like, because you don't want to under, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And if you overcook dry chicken, it's truly like eating gristle. It's not great.
It's not a good texture at all. And so you got to dump the barbecue sauce on it to make it edible.
Just to get that thing down.
Love you, though, Matt.
Whatever
Thanks.
you want to do, hopefully you enjoy the summer months. Not a surprise that grilling is a big part of it. And hopefully you're able to do that this summer with your family a couple times over. Morning After with Nic and Big J. We will get a nerd alert courtesy of Big J next on the X.
Here's traffic.
The nerds. Nerd talk.
The best in tech and gaming. Big J's Nerd Alert on 100.3 The X rocks.
Yeah, sometimes Sony PlayStation, they like to hold their cards, real early. Last month, they promised a PlayStation Direct for Ghost of Yote, but they didn't give a date until a couple days ago, and they announced that that day would be today. So today at 3 p.m., you're going to get about 20 minutes of actual gameplay from the hotly anticipated sequel of Ghost of Tsushima. It will be hosted by Sucker Punch's creative directors Jason Connell and Nate Fox. Beyond sharing more about Atsu's quest for vengeance, we're excited to show off her new weapons, new ways to personalize your journey at the edge of Japan, new special modes, and much more. You can watch that state of play on Sony PlayStation's Twitch or YouTube page today at 3 p.m. And so I know people are looking forward. This is a game you're looking forward to, right?
Cannot wait.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be, again, another beautiful game. And I know that the combat and stuff in it is really cool. So keep that on your list of games to look out for. Nick, Resident Evil, I mean, it might be the first real game franchise. I mean, going back as kids, it was this game that scared the living crap out of me. It became movies, TV shows. It's got everything. Well, Capcom, along with South Korean mobile developer Joy City, they've announced a new mobile entry into Resident Evil series last week. Resident Evil Survival Unit is coming to iOS and Android offering a real-time strategy spin on the survival horror franchise. A full reveal of that game is also set to debut today at 4 p.m. according to the countdown on the game's official website. So far, we know the survival unit is billed as a reimagining of the survival horror universe as a real-time strategy experience optimized for mobile platforms. The game will be available in North America as well as Europe, Japan, South Korea, and Asia. So this developer has really more or less free-to-play games such as basketball titles, Freestyle 2, Street Basketball, 3-on-3 Freestyle, Gunship Battle, Total Warfare, that kind of thing. So they are pretty good at this. We'll see how that is. If Resident Evil fans want to get into it, they can. Helldivers 2, which for a period of time was really the hottest game in the industry for Sony, PlayStation, and PC, actually. Well, it's coming to Xbox Series XS on August 26th. This marks the first appearance of the series on a Microsoft platform. The cooperative third-person shooter was first released in February 2024. As soldiers defending Super Earth in 2184, players work together in three-person squads to fight the never-ending galactic war against the insect-like aliens. So there was a lot of, crossover and talk about this being a part of the whole series of movies that Starship Troopers, for example. So that's coming to Xbox. And of course, one last thing, Nick. Today is the day. EA Sports College Football 26 is here. This year's edition builds on the super success of last year's version with over 2,800 new plays, real-life coaches, a revamped transfer portal that adds more drama to Dynasty mode. Gamers will see more mascots, traditions, and game day vibes. This thing is supposedly everything fans loved last year, but just bigger. I've had early access and been playing. I jumped into Road to Glory.
Yeah, that's my first thing I usually do as well.
And I am the starting quarterback for the Boise State Broncos.
Congratulations. How does it feel?
Yeah, it was hard work. I suck at the mini games. I really am bad at them. I don't understand them. It's a struggle for me. So getting there was not easy.
I'm sure. How far into the season before you were the starter?
About halfway.
Okay. The first season as a freshman?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, as a freshman. And so like the first opportunity you have to be the starter, I just screwed that up and I didn't cheat. And so the second opportunity, I went and redid it until I got it right.
There you go.
I got to be the starting quarterback.
You got to be the starting quarterback.
But it's a lot of fun. So that is available today for you gamers. Get out there and get it.
I enjoyed it. I am at this point waist deep in Death Stranding, so I don't know when I'll get to this, but I'm very much looking forward to it. But I also, that was my only beef really with College Football 25 was the transfer portal. If you're a successful program, is fairly unrealistic. Like you basically, nobody wants to leave and nobody wants to come in, and because you're already all full up, and so that's not how it works. And so I'd like to see some sort of changes. We'll see how that works, but really that was my only complaint. I still love playing College Football 25. I find it much better than Madden, but that's just me. But I'm excited that it is out and cannot wait to play. Is that your Nerd Alert?
That's the Nerd Alert.
Thank you, Big J. Morning After with Nic and Big J coming up in a few minutes. Some important stuff as well as we're going to hell. It's next on the X.
Stuff
Launch newsfeed.
on the Morning After with Nic and Big J.
Let's face it, Big J, you're closer to 60 than you are to 30. You understand?
Yeah, I guess.
And so as you approach that age, it's probably information that you may find useful. What kind of health issues you're probably going to have when you hit 60 and older, you understand? And so they talked to Boston Scientific Institute, and they researched almost 150,000 medical records from men over the age of 60 to find what the most common ailments are. And Big J, I don't know if you're prepared to know what the number one ailment is. You have any guesses?
Bad hips.
You're close. It's in that area.
Knees?
No.
Jump?
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, you're going to have some urinary problems as you get that age. About 56 to 58% of men over the age of 60 have some sort of urinary incontinence issue, Big J. That means you're going to be peeing yourself. You understand?
Yeah.
And they don't like discussing it with doctors, which just means because they're embarrassed by it. You know what I mean? And so it just gets worse as they get older, and that becomes a real problem. 72% of men that age dismissed it as like something that just wasn't that big of a deal and avoided seeking medical help. That becomes more of a problem down the road, mostly because of embarrassment about discussing their health problems or the status of their health problems. And even though it has a pretty significant impact on their lives, and more importantly, it impacts your mental health. I mean, can you think about it? Like, you feel like you're probably still there mentally and you're having some urinary problems, and that probably makes you feel like a piece of garbage. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
And so that's going to affect the mental health. But despite that, they feel like there's a stigma attached surrounding urinary incontinence. Do you believe that, Big J?
I guess, if they say so.
Well, do you think there is? I'm not talking about now.
I don't know. I haven't had the issue yet.
Well, I mean, what do you think about men that can't go to the bathroom properly?
It sucks for them. I mean, it shouldn't be a negative thing.
No.
It's like, it's not your fault.
This is my point.
You're getting older. It's just what happens, man.
That's my point. The survey also highlighted that many men are aware of treatment options, including medication, but they get a little bit nervous about that stuff as well. So that's our future, dude. We're not too far away from that.
Well,
So,
as we say, poop and pee machine.
yeah, well, if you're not peeing properly, then your pee machine's broken, and that's not great.
Well, that seems to work.
You gotta get it fixed.
You can't control it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that means it's broken. What thing that you can't control that you own is in good shape? Not a lot. And so you need to make sure that you got all those things in check if that's down the road. So talk to your doctor, talk to your medical professional about these things so that you can get back on the right track, because there is lots of options for things like that. It's not just throwing on a Depends and crying yourself to sleep. There's lots of things you can do to make things go the way you want it to go. So give it a shot. Don't be embarrassed. It's a medical thing. Doctors are supposed to figure this stuff out.
That's what they're there for.
Big J, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, of course known heretofore as SGA of the Oklahoma City Thunder, has had quite the year. He was the league MVP. He's got a championship ring. He's got the scoring champion. He's got himself the MVP trophy for the NBA Finals. And now he has been named the cover star of the NBA 2K26 video game, which will be released in September. He said it's a childhood dream come true. So he's very happy about that. He is going to be joined, Big J, by Angel Reese, who will be on the cover of the WNBA edition, and NBA legend Carmelo Anthony, who will appear on the cover of the Superstar edition. So if you are a collector of the 2K series of the NBA games, those are your cover athletes for this particular year. Any beefs or issues, Big J?
Well, I mean, did Caitlin Clark turn it down or something?
I believe she was on the cover last year,
Oh,
so
okay.
they don't like the repeat.
Oh, yeah. All right, then.
You're
That
good?
that would have been my only thing. Yeah, Angel Reese is pretty damn good, though, allegedly.
So,
Not like I've ever watched the game.
my God. And so you can check it out. It'll be available in September for you to be a part of. Big J, a moment of silence. Lorenzo Lamas is getting divorced for the 6th time. And quite frankly, Big J...
Wait, why is this news?
Well, because he's the renegade. And if he can't hold down a relationship, then what hope do any of
That
us have?
show hasn't been on since, I mean, it's been 20 years at least.
Well, he is the 67-year-old actor is getting divorced from his 40-year-old wife, according to TMZ. This is the 6th time that Lorenzo Lamas will be getting divorced. And so for those of you that watch The Renegade know that man can't hold on a relationship to save his life. So I'm sorry.
Because he's a renegade.
He did. He's a rebel.
What's he done lately? Like, I
God.
think he's done.
The last thing that I remember him honestly doing that was somewhat mainstream was a really awful show they had on, like, I want to say like 10 years ago, called Hot or Not. Do you remember it? It was essentially
Yes.
like an American Idol for women that wanted to be models, and then Lorenzo Lamas would be the a-hole that told them everything that was wrong with incredibly beautiful women. It was really, really, really
Cringy. Big
awful.
time.
Yes. That's the last thing I remember Lorenzo Lamas doing. But now he's getting divorced.
Renegade was in 1992 to 1997.
Why did it feel like it was on constantly when I was in high
Because it
school?
was probably reruns,
It
man. It
definitely
was
was.
always, but
Well,
you're right. It was.
It was like Baywatch. It wasn't on a network. It was just like a syndicated
Yeah.
show that would be popping
Yes.
up constantly. Him riding down the desert on his motorcycle. What was the name of his buddy that was in that show?
I don't remember.
The Native American gentleman that he traveled with?
Yeah, who I can't remember.
Nah, listen. You don't have to watch Renegade. It's not that good of a show. Morning After with Nic and Big J. I just wanted to make a Renegade reference, which is why we brought that up. We got ourselves some We're Going to Hell action next on the X Rocks.
To light, stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh man, we're going to hell. What the hell? The morning after with Nic and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
We are headed to Brisbane, Australia for today's We're Going to Hell story.
Brisbane, trip on the Bobby.
And
crikey.
I'm going to tell you right out the gate, it sounds unbelievable. And if not for, if you go to pretty much any country over in Europe, any country anywhere else in the world, there's so much CCTV footage now that it basically corroborates the story. Otherwise, we'd probably all be calling BS on it outside of what happened. But it's a truly crazy story. So it starts on June 8th of this year, Big J, where a gentleman wanders into a gas station at Jimboba. Now, that's about 50 kilometers south of Brisbane, around 5 o'clock in the morning. And he is absolutely covered in dirt. So he's a mess. And the person behind the register notices this dude is messed up. Like, he is bleeding profusely out of his face. It looks like there's a hole where his eye should be.
Ugh.
And the guy's like, can you call me a cab? And he's like, hey, mate, are you sure I shouldn't call you an ambulance to get
lorry?
Because I think that's in England.
Okay, sorry.
And so he's basically a hurt unit, and he's like bleeding all over the place.
It's another tough Australian dude.
Right.
Might
He's
as well
like,
play hockey.
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. Just call me a cab. I don't have my phone on me. Call me a cab. And he's like, well, I don't know, man. You look pretty bad. So then the guy passes out in the actual gas station. So the gas station attendant does call an ambulance, comes in, ambulance takes him to a hospital. They have to perform life-saving surgery on this guy because, in fact, he did have a hole where his eye should be. He had a bullet that was lodged in his brain.
Oh, he got shot.
Yeah.
Shot in the eye.
Yeah. And so the doctors then basically, they had to take out the eye, but they saved his life and took the bullet out of his brain. And the guy took about essentially a full month to recover in an Australian hospital when we got the rest of the story. And it sounded so unbelievable that they had to have CCTV footage to corroborate it, but apparently it's true.
What happened?
Guy was mixed up in some bad bets, Big J.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't paying his bookies the amount of money that was owed to him, and he ran past the deadline, and essentially a hit was taken out on him. And two
that doesn't
hitmen
get your money back, guys.
basically got him, cornered him at a bar, drug him out to the desert in the middle of nowhere, shot him in the head, and then buried him in the desert.
Oh my God, Kill Bill style.
Right. And this guy survived the head gunshot, dug himself out of his grave, and then walked to that gas station, which is why he was all discombobulated and bleeding from the head, and why he was covered in dirt as well. He had dug himself out of his own shallow grave that he was dumped in, and everybody was like, no. And then they looked at CCTV footage, and sure enough, you could see the dude's hands digging up out of the ground.
Well, that's a terrible place to bury somebody if there's a camera right outside.
And getting...
What a bunch of idiots.
Again, everything is on camera. But yes, that's the exact same thing the police said. They're like, we don't know why they picked this spot. You can see the camera right where it is. We've got these guys on camera. It was a bad idea.
Okay, so the debt's cleared now, though, right?
That's a good question. I mean,
you shot the guy and buried him. Over, right? What more can you do from him?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he's still alive, I would say the debt's active, but I don't know. I don't know. And so it's a whole situation where they have arrested the two men that were involved in the shooting. They are also now apparently tied into about 4 different hit-style murders that actually weren't successful. So this uncovered a whole kind of like operation that was going on in underground Australia. But now we know of a guy who survived a gunshot, was buried alive and dug his way out, walked to help, and ended up okay.
That's just as an example of a dude's time wasn't up, man.
Yeah. And now he should at least write a book, or it seems like it's a crazy movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now, granted, this guy's in probably thousands of dollars in debt, so he's no hero. Let's be honest there. He also doesn't pay his bets, so he's probably got several problems of his own.
Yeah, how much does it take to get shot in the head?
It doesn't say in the story. I tried to look it up. It does not say how much money he owed these guys. I imagine it was a substantial amount of money.
It's gotta be the tens of thousands.
Well, yeah, I would think so. I don't think you call out a hit on somebody because you owe them $250. But then again, I don't know. I mean, I guess you picked the wrong guy, and maybe he does. But this is a situation that was just pure crazy, and if not for the CCTV footage, I don't think anybody would have bought it. But it's there, and it happened, and he was covered in dirt. It's crazy. Crazy.
And he's got probably a cool eye patch.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
His face is blurred out, so... Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X Rocks.
Here's Travis.
Here's your X-Fest headliners. That is Chevelle and Rabbit Hole Cowards, part 1. Here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Today's the day, Big J. You, I, Ian, Morning After the movies. A couple of your family members. We're all going to head to the theater and check out Superman the movie.
Superman.
And we are very excited for it. I am geeked and pumped to see what James Gunn has done with the property. Cannot wait for this film, and a lot of people are excited about it, and justly so. But it doesn't mean that we don't got beef, Big J, because whenever a big, gigantic superhero property like this comes out, it always is an opportunity for somebody to trot out what are the best superhero movies of all time, right?
Right.
And we got some real boomer bleep going on with USA Today, as they have listed the top 50 superhero movies of all time. Now, it's important to understand that clearly with this list, they have taken some umbrage with the movie superhero. So first of all, it's all not comic based. It's just somebody has to have some sort of powers, or not even powers, I guess, because RoboCop makes the list, and I would never ever consider RoboCop a superhero. Right.
Movie?
In the 30s, but still, I'm like, what kind of superhero list has got RoboCop on it? That's very, very, while a great movie and a wonderful, topic of conversation, I don't count it as a superhero movie.
No.
But there's a couple in here that also, like, I love Unbreakable. I don't think Unbreakable is a superhero movie. It's about a guy kind of who has powers, but that's a bit of a stretch, too.
It's an ultra-realistic look at what it might look like if they were real.
Yes.
I think that's what makes that whole series so
right.
Really
and then
good.
it did get exponentially worse as they went on, but
it became
Unbreakable
about something else. But
is
definitely
a fun movie.
Unbreakable, yeah. But not, typical standard superhero film.
Correct. But this list has labeled it from 50 to 1, and there's some questionable ones in there, but any list does. But do you have your ultimate number one superhero movie of all time that you enjoy? And then we'll talk about one that's like a spectacle as well. Is there one that far and away you think is like, hey, this is a great, great movie?
I don't know. It changes from time to time. But I mean, to me, I don't know. This movie hit me in the feels. I didn't expect it, because the first time I saw it, I was kind of upset by some of the stuff in it, or at least surrounding it. And that movie's Man of Steel.
Okay.
I didn't like the divergence from John Williams' theme song. And I was like, at first I didn't like Hans Zimmer's take on it. And then after watching it a second time, I fell in love with all of it. And so it's at the top there. And I know it's not the typical standard. A lot of people don't like that movie and some of the stuff that was in it. But to me, it was, I really love that movie. It's an emotional journey for me. So,
Man of Steel does not make this list of the top 50, at least according to USA Today. But what about a movie that's from a spectacle side of things, it's finally amazing?
Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt.
That comes in at number 6 for USA Today. Now, for me, I will always point this to, I feel like it's just a really well done origin story, and something that I never thought I would see come to fruition. And even though it's not really mentioned, it's here on the list, but it's pretty far down. But the first Captain America, the first Avenger, the period piece where they show all the stuff and they kind of talk about the origin story of Captain America, I think is a really incredible film that I really, really like. It hits me in the feels. It's really cool to see somebody take that journey from somebody that couldn't get the job done to a superhero with superpowers. It has led to such big things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think it's just really well done from a movie aspect of things. Now, from an incredible movie to kind of couple up with your Endgame, to me, while I love Endgame, I think Infinity Wars is the better movie, just because, number one, it ends unlike any other movie we've ever seen end in any kind of superhero story, which automatically makes it kind of cooler.
Makes it different.
But also, it really kind of shows you the culmination of all the Marvel stuff put together. Yes, the Avengers was something, and yes, you know, the other Avengers, the second Avengers movie was something as well, but this put in so many other properties and made it actually a story that involved sacrifice and introduced a huge, gigantic villain that actually seemed scary and was really well done, and then also incorporated all these other characters from all these other movies and made it somehow make sense, which almost seems, because everybody else has tried it, like an impossible task. The end game was just the fantastic conclusion to all that, but Infinity War truly set it up and made it an incredible story that you're like, wow, this actually works somehow.
Yeah.
And so it's there. And Infinity War is on this list, but further down. But USA Today says the best superhero movie of all time is Superman the movie from 1978. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that movie, and it's truly probably the first successful comic book movie, so there's certainly something to say there. But in terms of movies, I mean, personally, I think Superman 2 is a better movie than Superman the movie. It just has a better, villain. It has a better story. It's more engrossing, and it's a little bit more fun than Superman the movie, which was all about, hey, check it out, we can make a guy look like he flies.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff around that. Now, not to say that was an easy thing back then, but it's crazy to me that that's number one in all-time movies. Dark Knight was number 2 for the record. Captain America Winter Soldier was number 3. Guardians of the Galaxy was number 4. And your Avengers Endgame was number 5, Big J, on that particular list. If you want to, it's on USA Today. If you want to go in the top 10, Batman from 1989, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Captain America Civil War, The Avengers, and then Black Panther, your top 10. And then you get Things like The Incredibles and Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi's universe, and Logan. All of them are up there. And then it starts to get really weird. So you can take a look if you want to, but I took homage with Spider-Man the movie, or Superman the movie, as the number 1. Not to say that it's anything insulting to it.
Well, part of it on this list, too, was the performance of Christopher Reeve.
Sure, he's great.
That's what pushed him, maybe.
But I also think he's better at Superman 2 than Superman 1, because he had an idea how it goes.
I don't know. Superman 2 is pretty goofy.
But it's so much fun. And the villains are...
When's the last time you watched Superman 2?
Well, listen, I watched all of those movies like 6 months ago. 1, 2, 3, and then I couldn't even get through 4. I tried Quest for Peace, but I was like, I have to eject. I'm out. And so...
it was
I watched
truly
them all
the worst of 80s movies in general. It was like this. Maybe we should stop making movies.
That's back when Canon was struggling and just trying to put anything out to make some sort of money. Oh my goof, it was bad. Morning After with Nic and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, we got your important stuff as well as your pop culture smackdown. It's coming up on the X.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nic and Big J.
Big J, science has proven that, chimpanzees, they're not too different from us, the humans that roam this earth. You understand?
Sure.
I mean, we both have opposable thumbs. We both like to groom each other. We like to rip each other's faces off. This is just the way that society works. And thanks to a facility in the Netherlands, we found out that maybe chimpanzees are more like us than ever. Because the one thing that they have found out that chimpanzees love is they love to watch videos of other monkeys, just like we love to watch videos of other human beings, hence TikTok and Instagram and all these other things out there. When given an opportunity, monkeys will actually spend more time watching videos and scrolling through other monkey videos than anything else that's out there. That's the one thing that seems to capture their own attention.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Particularly, monkey on a stick. Particularly, group videos of their own group members, like people they know. They're like, oh man, hey, there's Marty. Look at that. Holy cow, what's he doing?
I love Marty.
And they have found that it actually makes them calmer and less stressed than other activities that they do on a regular basis. So, I don't know if monkeys enjoy doom scrolling as much as we do, but it appears to be they're like a stone's throw away from that happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the study suggests that just like human beings, monkeys prioritize social dynamics within their own communities and have curiosity about that particular type of thing. So what do you think about that, Big J?
I got the curiosity.
Yeah, some real Jane Goodall bleep going on here.
Yeah. I mean, but where does the throwing poop at each other come into play there?
That's just for fun.
Oh.
They don't do that for, any particular type of scientific reason. They just want to go ape sometimes, just like we all do. And they let it happen. So something to keep in mind as things move forward. Now, Big J, NIL has become an interesting thing in the world of collegiate athletics. And this is the first time we've ever seen something like this happen. Now, I can't expect you know who Caden Pierce is. But Caden Pierce is a pretty good basketball player for the Princeton team. Now, Princeton is an Ivy League basketball team. They made the tournament a couple of times. And Caden has been the Ivy League Player of the Year for a couple of seasons in a row. And he's a pretty good basketball player. Now, he wants money, Big J, but he's doing something that nobody's ever done before. He is announcing that he is going to redshirt his final season, meaning he is not going to play his senior season despite the 2 years of success because of a couple reasons. Number one, he is always, and his mom's dream and his grandparents' dream and his dream was always to graduate from Princeton. And so he doesn't want to use up his last year of eligibility playing for Princeton. He wants to graduate from Princeton. So that's what he's going to focus on this next year. And then he's going to essentially become a free agent and see which Division I team offers him the most NIL money for his final season of eligibility, knowing what he can do on the court, and he will play for another school in 2026, 2027. And they think he's going to be one of the most sought-after transfer students in the portal in the next year. So this is the kind of stuff that NIL does that I don't think anybody would have seen coming in 1.5 billion years.
No.
But leave it to a kid at Princeton to do something incredibly smart.
Right.
I mean, odds are he's not going to be an NBA player, so you might as well get that money while you can, and you get a degree from Princeton. And then he could go on and basically be a hired gun for whoever wants to pay him the most money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But keep an eye on Caden Pierce. You won't be seeing him on the court this year, but next year somewhere, you probably will. Big J, you remember the Night at the Museum franchise?
Yes, of course.
It came out in 2006. It made several movies, 3 of them, by the way. They have grossed $1.3 billion worldwide, and Hollywood has decided it's time to reboot it. And so they are going to start from scratch with the Night at the Museum franchise coming soon. Specific plot details are being kept secret, but let me guess. Something's going to come alive in a museum. That's my
maybe.
guess.
But I would say, like, just like this line of movies, you know, Jumanji was successful early, and it's with Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same person, actually, in some of those movies. And then the Jumanji reboot was great. I mean, the first 2 movies were incredibly well received.
Oh,
They
sure.
made a crap ton of money, and I enjoyed both of those.
Yeah,
so,
no, they're great.
I think you get the right people on there, you could figure a different approach that makes it even more fun.
Did you enjoy the Night at the Museum movie?
Yeah, they were fun.
I don't think I saw anything outside of the first one, to be perfectly honest. But I do know they're very successful, and you're going to see it again in the very near future. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your Pop Culture Smackdown next on the X.
Pop Culture Smackdown. Right. On the Morning After with Nic and Big J.
And hey, man, we got a great opportunity here. Social Distortion, that show got postponed, rescheduled July 19th. So that's next Saturday at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center. We'll get you set up with those tickets. You just need to beat Nick in Pop Culture Smackdown, baby.
I know you can do it. If you want to go to Social D coming up on next Saturday, you need to get on the phone. That phone number would be 208-287-1003. And, of course, you knowing a little bit about the world of popular culture will help you kind of skim your way through this particular contest. But if I've learned anything through this switching roles, Big J does not enjoy it when I run the table, and usually he'll follow it up the next day with an almost impossible question right out the gate.
Do you know why?
Because it makes you angry.
No, but do you know why it makes me angry?
Do I know why it makes you angry?
Yes.
No.
Because finding pop culture questions is hard. Like, it's not easy. Like, we've been doing this pop culture's been a part of it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
We've asked every question possible at least twice. At least.
Well, I don't know about that.
I mean,
but
it's just hard. So when you roll through them like there's nobody's business, I pull my hair out.
you knew the risks.
I know.
But if you want to play 208-287-1003, hello, the X.
Hi,
Hi, who's this?
Denise.
All right, Denise, you're up first. Good luck.
Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al Yankovic, Denise, sold millions of Grammy-winning albums, starred in film, and had his own TV show But he did something in early 2011. Was it climb Mount Everest, win the Hawaii Ironman competition, or release a best-selling children's book?
Release a best-selling children's book.
That's a smart lady. That's absolutely correct. Now he's got more than a couple now. Nick, actress Janet Leigh, known for a role in Alfred Hitchcock's movie Psycho, is the mother of what famous actress?
Oh, I know this, but why? See, the first thing that popped into my head.
Not even a hard question.
The first thing that popped into my head was somebody that shared her last name, but I don't know if that's correct. And I'm just going to say what came in my head. Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. I don't know. She might be her daughter. I don't know. But Jamie Lee Curtis is the answer.
Oh, Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh?
Yes.
Right. I feel like I knew that, but I don't know why Jennifer Jason Leigh. I do not think they're sisters.
It might be like a niece or something.
Could very well be.
Scream,
or no relation whatsoever.
Scream Queens, it just kind of like, runs in the family, I guess.
There you go. Congratulations, Denise. Good job. You're going to go check out Social Distortion. Hang on 1 second. We'll hook you up with everything that you need for that show next week. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Your headlines are next on the X.
It's like your daily update of really stupid stuff. It's time for headlines on the Morning After with Nic and Big J.
Headlines brought to you by the X Happy Hour. It is on, and it begins officially tomorrow. Why don't you join Adam, who is going to be out for Happy Hour number 1, broadcasting live from 6 until 8 o'clock tonight at Stop Number 1, which is going to be a beautiful place. Brown Beard Brewing, the Barrel House, located at 5270 West Chinden Boulevard in Garden City. Yes, it's a pirate-themed bar. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of prizes, a lot of opportunities for you to win stuff, and just some good times. So swing on by, say hello. We got punch cards because we want you to stop by. We're going to have an 8 happy hour tour, 8 different places over the course of the summer, 1 every week. If you hit up 4 of our happy hours, we'll qualify you for a pair of VIP tickets to X-Fest 2025. That means you sit in the VIP section, rub elbows with Big J, and have yourself a good time. And then also, if you hit all 8, we've got a very special commemorative t-shirt that you can wear, impress your friends, show everybody that you were there hanging out with the X on this entire happy hour tour. So the happy hour begins this Friday, Brown Beard Brewing Barrel House, 5270 West Chinden Boulevard, tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. with the X and, of course, Adam broadcasting live. Headlines are as follows: Sped Up, Pandemonium, or Happy Birthday?
Pandemonium.
Pigeon pandemonium, Big J. It ensued on a Delta flight from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport to Dane County Regional Airport in Madison, Wisconsin. 2 pigeons were discovered in the passenger cabin. That's a problem. The first bird appeared during pre-takeoff preparations, and the initial pigeon then was removed by baggage handlers. Then a second pigeon emerged while the plane was in the air, and this pigeon was freaking out. A passenger attempted to capture the bird, causing chaos as it took flight down the aisle. Everybody was screaming and freaking out. The plane had to return to the terminal, and then the second pigeon was also safely removed. Following a brief delay, the flight continued to its destination, landing in Madison 56 minutes behind schedule. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Passengers were asked to check for any additional stowaway birds before departure. Do you get it, Big J?
Yeah.
Thank you. But I can understand how that would be probably, I can. People have fear of birds. That's a real thing. Like, some people freak out at birds and don't like it. And so I could see how one being loose on a flight would freak some people out. But,
yeah, and I feel bad for the birds. They're just scared.
Yeah, they knew. It's like they planned on it. They weren't stowed away on purpose.
Like we got to get these messages to people.
I'd have to fly all the way to Madison? No way. I think this is going there. I'll just hop on here. Sped Up or Happy Birthday?
Happy birthday.
Big J, what did you do for your last birthday?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, nothing in particular.
So you didn't get high on meth and steal a train?
No.
All right, well, and advantage this guy. A man in Key West, Florida is under arrest after he celebrated his birthday by doing a huge amount of meth and then stealing one of the city's Conch Tour trains, which is an iconic Key West street train that gives scenic rides to tourists. 57-year-old John Winslow didn't just swipe the train, he drove it through the city and picked up passengers. Police eventually caught up to him near the city's landmark in Point Bowie, where he enthusiastically informed officers, "Hey, today is my birthday." But I was only trying to borrow the train, you understand.
Yeah.
But he was not trying to borrow the meth, Big J. He did legitimately smoke all that. So he went to jail. I wonder if that will be one of the options of the winner of our Key West trip will take. To take the train tour piloted by the meth addict that is having a birthday party.
Would it be a trip to that area without something like that?
It is Florida, so all bets are off.
I think it's part of the experience.
Wrap it up with Sped Up. Scientists predict the Earth's rotation will accelerate in the coming months, resulting in slightly shorter days. Specifically, Big J, yesterday was the shortest day we've ever had on the planet Earth. What do you think about that?
I didn't notice.
The change is attributed to the moon's position in relation to the Earth's equator, but I don't have to tell you that because it altered its gravitational impact on the planet's axis. So historically, Earth has rotated faster with days lasting only 19 hours sometimes. That happened around 1 to 2 billion years ago due to a closer moon. But the recent fluctuations in Earth rotation speed has been observed with basically the fastest rotation since the 1970s. So now we may consider subtracting a leap second every once in a while so that we can maintain atomic clock accuracy because Earth's spin is increasing in speed. Sooner or later, Big J, this thing's going to buck us all off, and we're going to be floating around in space, and you need to prepare yourself for that, both mentally and physically.
I think I'll be all right.
All right. Well, we'll see. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. It is the X Rocks.
Here's traffic inside the TDS Fiber Traffic Center.
Let's get cakey, Big J.
Yeah, this is, again, some lunatic person has spent I wouldn't say like the most egregious amount of money that has been spent on this kind of thing, but a slice of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's 1947 wedding cake was sold recently at auction for $3,700, Nick.
That's 77 years old, right?
I'm not good at math, so I'll let you handle that. But it's a fruit cake. It's been stored for decades by a family of a chief petty officer and was sold at an auction here recently. And the man who bought it, his name is Jerry Layton, and he plans to eat this bad boy piece of cake at a banquet on the Royal Yacht Britannia for his 65th birthday. Now, in order to make it safe to consume after 70 years, they're going to flambe that thing. That's a safety precaution.
The flambéed fruitcake is what he's going to eat for his 65th
Yeah, super
birthday.
gross. He also owns a piece of Charles and Diana's wedding.
Oh, so he's like first of all, he's a goofy royal obsessed.
Yes, he's a royal
person.
enthusiast, Nick. Enthusiast.
And he's obviously collecting wedding cakes, which is also really weird. And then he's going an extra mile, not trying to like sell them himself, but to actually eat the cake that he has purchased. I guess that means it ends with him, which is a good thing, I suppose.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
there could be more pieces out there, I suppose.
Well, there's also what's left over afterwards.
Now, what do you mean? Do you mean his waist?
Yes. This is the waist of the Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's 1947 wedding cake. Here's the thing. What's to prevent the royals from just continuing to create wedding cake pieces from Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's wedding?
Wonderful question. I mean, I don't know how you authenticate this other than, because obviously both of them had passed on. So it's difficult to say that there's any kind of authenticity, like certificate of authenticity, because I'm sure when you save a piece of your wedding cake, you don't go, well, this would be auctioned off in 80 years. I might as well have this.
I mean, I was just thinking, I'm like, I should have done that with mine. I tell you this, it probably tastes better than this damn royal wedding.
I guarantee you it does. I promise you. I know who made your wedding cake.
I know. I was so excited because we did, save a piece and then have it like on our anniversary.
Yeah.
It was still so good.
Yeah. It's tradition. And it's not weird to save your wedding cake. I don't want to say that. It's strange that 80 years later almost somebody wants to eat it as they feel like they're having a part of you inside them or something crazy. Like, I mean,
he's extra creepy.
He's 65 years old, though. At some point, you should get over whatever this may be. But listen, he clearly has the money. He's going on some sort of crazy-ass yacht to enjoy this, and this is like full-on rich people problems.
I don't know. $3,700 is it's almost like middle class trying to get into the rich people class of people spending stuff on.
Well,
things.
It is a piece of cake, so it's probably only yay big, like a serving size, so it's not exactly a lot. But also, he's going on a yacht to do it. I don't know how much it costs to go on a yacht and rent out a yacht for your 65th birthday, but I'm guessing that's a pretty big chunk of change.
Yeah, I would like. How about this for a birthday party? I would like to have a party at Cinemark Majestic Theater and have some popcorn from 1952 or whatever.
But we have to flambe it.
Yeah,
flambéed popcorn. I'm sure to be delicious. I wonder if they have any of that popcorn laying around. Has to be stale, right?
I don't think who would save that.
I don't know.
Hey, we're gonna save this from the premiere of the Superman movie, the original in 1984.
Who would save wedding cake that long? I mean, once you have it, it's there to be consumed, and then you enjoy it for an anniversary. I get it's a special wedding, but like still, 77 years is a long time to keep a cake in the freezer. How does it not get damaged or squished or whatever?
Or freezer burn.
Yeah, and listen, I guarantee you it's gross. Guaranteed it doesn't taste good.
I hope this guy throws up a lot.
And it's fruitcake. Fruitcake, even fresh, is gross.
Yeah.
So
they probably had like 18 different cakes, by the way, for that wedding.
Guaranteed. Morning After with Nic and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, some bad impressions with some prizes attached. It's next on the X.
Have you been thinking?
Impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nic and Big J.
Yeah, we got a nice little prize here. A gift card, $25 gift card to Flying Pie Pizzeria.
Oh.
Delicious, amazing, whole lineup of great pies that you can pick up for food, but also they've got the habanero season happening right now, so get yourself a habanero pizza with us if you want. Give it a try. Take the heat challenge. $25 gift card coming your way if you can figure out bad impressions.
Phone number is 208-287-1003 if you'd like to play bad impressions for this Flying Pie gift card. Of course, Big J is going to give you 3 clues. They're all supposed to point in the direction of somebody that is pretty famous.
Yeah, more like a famous entity.
A famous entity?
Yeah. It'll become clear.
Okay. If you think you know your entities, then you need to get on the phone. 208-287-1003.
Not that entity from Mission Impossible 8.
To play this particular game. Best of luck to everybody. Hello, the X.
Hey, guys.
Good morning, man. What's your name?
Chris.
All right, Chris, you're up first, man. Good luck.
Our houses are shaped like mushrooms because that's what we live in.
I wouldn't be a little blue Smurfs, would it?
Yes.
Is it Smurfs?
Damn.
Good job, man. Way to go, Chris. Hang on 1 second. Now,
what the hell?
are the Smurfs an entity?
Well,
Wouldn't you just call them fictional characters?
I guess so. I didn't want to call them cartoons.
Entity, I feel like, gives them a whole level beyond what they deserve. I don't know if they're in line with Jesus, but what were clues 2 and 3?
Gargamel is a human and always trying to find out where we live for some reason.
Yeah.
And not sure why. We're all blue. Not like in Avatar. We did the blue thing first.
Why are the Smurfs in the news?
Well, hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but the new Smurfs movie's coming out next week, Nick.
Yeah, I can't get away from
it. It's out there. And Airbnb and Paramount Pictures, they're collaborating to offer a unique Smurf-themed experience in Belgium. So, I don't know if people know this or not, but Smurfs actually is from Belgium. It's where it became a thing. And fans of the franchise will have the opportunity to immerse themselves in the beloved blue world. It's a 4-hour experience to be hosted by Nicholas Tyget, the grandson of Smurf creator Peyo. So guests will tour Papa Smurf's mushroom-style home and customize iconic Smurf hats, all of that stuff. And so they're really leaning into that and to celebrate the world of Smurfs.
Can you imagine going all the way to Belgium just for Smurfs?
I mean, listen, there must be some like crazy Smurf people out there.
Hey, listen, I didn't think anybody would pay for a 77-year-old cake up until about 10 minutes ago, so I guess you're right. But that's a commitment for Smurfs. Now, where were the Smurfs on your radar? Because I distinctly remember them being part of Saturday morning cartoons when I was growing up.
Oh, yeah, it was a thing, man.
And I remember watching some of them, but I don't remember being like a huge fan of it, but they certainly were in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. No, I'm not super fandom at all, but you know who all the Smurfs are usually.
I can honestly think that I have ejected from any knowledge of Smurfs. I've never seen any of the movies, the ones with Neil Patrick Harris. This is now, I think, the 3rd reboot of it. This one is supposed to be a little bit more kind of for adults as well, because Lord Miller have directed this, the guys from the Lego movie. So it's supposed to have a little bit more universal sense of humor, not just for kids. But I don't know. I think I'll hold out my reservations on checking it out in theaters. But hey, listen, if you have kids, who knows? But I mean, like, outside of movies, Smurfs still aren't on TV, are they? Unless you watch those classic Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Cartoon shows, right? Because I don't think they're making new episodes of Smurfs. It's just they live in movies at this point, I think. Which blend the real world and Smurf world, which was never a thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, right.
In the TV show. But
they didn't have the technology then.
This is the show you come to for all the Smurf knowledge you need right here on The Morning After. We got you covered. There you go very much, Chris. Enjoy that flying pie. We're going to wrap up the show here next on the X Rocks. That's a day to remember, all my friends. Wrapping up The Morning After with Nic and Big J here on this particular Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We learned today, Big J, that a man can rise from the dead, even if he's buried in some desert hole and shot in the head. He can dig himself out of his own grave, walk himself to a gas station, and ask for some help. So congratulations to now know that's possible. We also talked about the greatest superhero movies of all time, and of course, we talked about really, really old cake. So a pretty good Thursday, Big J. That does leave you with the floor.
Nick, you been hitting the Amazon Prime? The Prime deals going down?
I've been looking, but nothing has struck my fancy where I have had to pull the trigger on anything. There's a couple of books in my cart that are on sale that I will probably pull the trigger on before I end up calling it an Amazon Prime week. But that's the only things that really have piqued my interest.
Stuff I want is hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
What's on your list?
New camera.
What kind of, like a video camera?
Yeah. Not a video. Yeah, I mean, yes, a video camera
for the bedroom.
But a vlog. Yeah, that and other places. On the motorcycle, everywhere.
Very nice.
As I begin my lifestyle channel one day.
Got it. But yeah, no, I haven't seen anything that is really. I've looked at a couple of things, but haven't been like, oh, I have to. I can't pass up this deal kind of stuff. But I'm sure it'll get me before Prime days are done, because this goes until tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. So plenty of time for it to hook its meat hooks into me and make
me find your Christmas present.
Spend money.
Your birthday present. That's first.
I don't need anything from you. I'm good.
What?
Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's the show. Thanks for joining us. Jason Drew is up next. Have a good one. It's the X Rocks.